never guess the places that I've been. You never guess the places that I've been. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. I'm never gonna let the day begin. Never gonna let the day begin. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, and I'll just make this bed my home. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Better from above. Nothing's ever as it seems, yeah, except in that world that I dream of. Never gonna lose the ones I love. Never gonna lose the ones I love. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that world that I dream of. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, 'cause I can't face this day alone. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Give me my dreams. Give me my dreams.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. Rhode Island officials are working around the clock to catch the gunman who killed 2 students and injured 9 others at Brown University on Saturday. Providence Mayor Brett Smiley says multiple agencies are on the case.
This community will heal from this. We will move forward. But that doesn't make light of, and I'm certainly not making light of, the fear and anxiety that persists. But the only way we're going to move forward through it is one step at a time, and today's one of those steps.
Police released a new video showing the masked suspect in black walking away, while a previously detained person of interest has been released. President Trump is doubling down on blaming the deaths of director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle on Trump derangement syndrome. Trump cited his Truth Social post, calling Reiner a tortured and struggling filmmaker whose anger towards him, Trump says, contributed to his death.
I think he hurt himself in career-wise, so he became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all, in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was bad for our country.
He described Reiner's opposition as a mind-crippling disease and said it drove people crazy over his presidency. House Republicans unveiled a new health care bill they hope to bring to a vote this week.
The proposed legislation contains cost-sharing reductions and reforms to pharmacy benefits, but does not include extension of the enhanced Obamacare subsidies set to expire in about 3 weeks. Speaker Mike Johnson promised the bill would be a great piece of legislation that everybody will unite around. John Sommers, USA Radio News.
Ahmed Al-Ahmed, an Australian immigrant, is being hailed as a hero for wrestling a gun from a shooter during Sunday's deadly anti-Semitic attacks in Sydney that killed 15. Wounded in the act, Al-Ahmed said he would do it again to protect the community. Officials, including Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, called the attack pure evil and targeted at Jews on Hanukkah, sparking renewed calls for increased security. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say: "We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great. It even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. Visit strongtel.com. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. StrongTel.
Hunter Biden has been disbarred in the state of Connecticut following complaints tied to his gun and tax convictions. He agreed to the disbarment and admitted to attorney misconduct. Biden was previously pardoned by his father, but had his D.C. law license revoked back in May. Authorities say a member of the New Year's Eve terror plot in Los Angeles has been arrested in New Iberia, Louisiana. Assistant U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley called the suspect a considerable threat.
He threatened the agents, and so that's why he's under arrest.
The FBI confirmed that arrest on Saturday, marking the second terror-related capture near Lafayette in just over 2 months. President Trump said his administration is reviewing whether Israel violated the Gaza ceasefire by killing senior Hamas official Saad Ra'ad over the weekend. Israel says the strike was in response to Hamas planning attacks. Trump also confirmed the Gaza Stabilization Force is operational, with more nations expected to contribute troops. New data from the CDC shows the updated COVID vaccination is effective in reducing the severity of the illness in children.
The study of nearly 100,000 emergency room visits found that vaccinated kids were less likely to get seriously sick. The vaccine reduced the risk of needing emergency care by 76% for children aged 9 months to 4 years old and 56% for children and teens aged 5 to 17. While the vaccine may not prevent every case of COVID, it significantly lowered the risk of severe illness, according to the CDC. I'm Katie Gray.
And I'm Anthony Lucero, USA Radio News.
iLocal.net is offering a free website analysis to improve the online presence of your business. Business owners across the U.S. turn to iLocal.net to improve their search engine rankings. Search engines are constantly changing their algorithms. You need the professionals who know how to use those changes to benefit your business. Don't hope for new customers. Get found and be chosen. Visit iLocal.net/go for your free website analysis. iLocal.net/go.
Did you miss an episode of the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive? Or just want to relive a little bit of the magic? Don't worry. You can download the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss a single second of the show that was recently named one of the best late-night shows in America. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive so you don't miss a single episode. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive. Available wherever you get your podcasts or online at overnightdriveradio.com. Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Under the dark night on the interstate, another 100 miles in the pouring rain. These are worth all the time I've spent away. Another dark night on the interstate. I'm driving through the year, trying to make it right. My baby's at home, hope she's doing alright. Miss my dogs and I miss my girls. I'm 1,000 miles away from my old world.
Okay, what do you say? Without further ado, cue the microphone and let's get this party started. Can't believe it's already that time. A new day, crossing over the midnight hour in the Eastern time zone. What do you say? We'll do the same from coast to coast. Turn the page. 16th day of December. All right, so we got the hard part behind us. Close out the greatest day of the week. Here comes a Tuesday. And welcome aboard the Steve Summers Overnight Drive live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Yeah, it's a tad bit warmer outside the secret bunker. I'll take 22 versus 2, which is where we were about this time 24 hours ago. Every little bit of moderation helps. So here we go. Kick off a brand new day. A look at our travelers' weather around the country. I can tell you the wiggle wagons are going to be wiggling, especially on north and south highways and byways. Much of the Pacific Northwest, we've got high wind warnings and advisories stretching through much of Idaho, Montana, western Wyoming, down to the north central Colorado. And yes, it is another chilly night in the deep southeastern USA. Yeah, we've got freeze warnings all the way down again into northern Florida, down to about Lake City tonight. So they're talking overnight lows between 23 and 27 degrees in southeast Georgia. They're in northeast Florida, 28 to 32 for nighttime lows. But as I said, about 20 degrees warmer than we were 24 hours ago. As the upcoming week progresses, we're going to witness some moderation, thank goodness. The cold will not be as intense through the plains, the Great Lakes, as well as the Northeast. Many spots are going to see temperatures within a few degrees of average by the time we get to the second half of the week. So the Arctic blast, say maybe 24 hours left here. In Detroit, after afternoon highs not far from 20 degrees this past day, you're going to be closer to 40 degrees by Wednesday, maybe middle and upper 40s by Thursday of this week. For many across the nation, the pattern this coming week featuring Arctic air, receding, warmer conditions moving in, should linger into the latter half of December here, where we're going to see widespread highs, upper 20s to the 40s, hanging around into the week of Christmas. That's a welcome change for those who are facing highs in the single digits here for a number of days. Given the relatively warmer pattern ahead, the chances for accumulating snow are going to be very limited for some, or at least accumulating snow that lingers for an extended period of time. With the warm-up coming later this week, that may very well dash the hopes for a white Christmas, as a lot of the snow cover we've got currently on the ground in the Midwest, away from the Great Lakes, likely will melt and not survive right up till Christmas Day, according to AccuWeather. Meanwhile, the other big weather story is the devastating, incredible flooding that continues in the Pacific Northwest. We're now awaiting our next atmospheric river. Matter of fact, back-to-back atmospheric rivers have doused the Pacific Northwest, resulting in incredible damaging mudslides, major river flooding, some locations picking up in excess of a month's worth of rain in a matter of days. The region caught a little break from the intense storminess over the weekend. Another round of storms, including a specific type of atmospheric river, a.k.a. the Pineapple Express, is about to move in once again. That conveyor belt of moisture originating all the way near the Hawaiian Islands. That's how it earns its name, bringing a relatively warm, humid stream of air toward the northwest U.S., producing intense, long-lasting rainfall. This particular event, which intensified this past day, will continue through Wednesday morning. There will be some additional chances of rain and higher elevation snow later this week, but those rounds of rain being funneled into western Washington and Oregon as well as northwest California, right into midweek. In the typically colder spots, rain may mix with snow at times, particularly during the overnight hours. But snow levels are anticipated beginning to fall overnight tonight, especially in Washington. Could see accumulating snow as low as 4,000 feet. That would include the like of Stevens Pass. From Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, another cooler push of air increases the chance of widespread accumulating snow across the region, including Snoqualmie Pass there in Washington along I-90. Steady precipitation targeting the upslope areas and the higher terrain, particularly the Olympic Mountains, the Coastal Range, the Cascades. Another 2 to 4 inches of rain expected. Terrain enhancement may boost those totals even further, where upwards of 4 inches are forecast. Additional rainfall moving into areas that have already received several inches over the past week, just worsening the ongoing issues. Several inches of additional rain this week on top of all the rain from last week. Renewed risk of major flooding. There are entire communities in parts of western Washington that are actually underwater at this point in time. Expect multiple rapid rounds of moderate to major flooding of the short-run rivers in the higher and intermediate elevations of the Cascades this week. Flooding in the higher elevations can occur in a matter of a few hours. Where those rivers reach lower, flatter terrain just above sea level, we're talking moderate to major flooding that could be delayed, lasting longer, maybe up to a few days. We could see multiple crests once again occurring this week. On this past day, Monday, King County emergency managers issued what they call a Go Now evacuation alert for residents and businesses east of the Green River after a breach in the Desmond Levee. Leave immediately if you're in this area, was the word from King County officials. Conditions are dangerous. Access routes may be lost at any time. Go north or south of evacuated area away from flooding waters. That levee breach prompted a flash flood warning from the National Weather Service in Seattle through Monday night here. So as we speak, of course, I mentioned winds a few moments ago. Intense winds are going to pick up across the Northwest. Once a storm brings in the onshore later today, gusts frequenting 40 to 60 miles per hour. As we look toward Tuesday night, we could see gusts approaching 90 miles per hour. Further inland, even blustier conditions throughout the northern Rocky Mountains and the surrounding terrain through Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, as well as Wyoming by midweek, while the windiest conditions should center around the northern Rockies, surrounding states, northern Nevada, Utah, Colorado, into the Front Range, also facing the risk of some damaging winds about midweek. Travel obviously impacted with gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour. Interstates 25, 90, 94 once again. AccuWeather says wind gusts as high as 90 again from Wednesday to Wednesday night. Obviously, crosswinds as we saw last week with the high-profile vehicles, nearly 40 semi-trucks blown over last week. Due to the saturated state of the ground, trees are going to be more prone to tipping over. Could bring down power lines with them if the soil was dry or merely a bit moist. Just a minor break following this early week storm activity before yet another feature crosses into the Pacific Northwest, bringing additional rain and snow. Looks like later this week, parts of Oregon may face the highest risk of flooding problems. Notable rain expected from Portland to Medford, Oregon. Travel impacts along portions of I-5 as a result. Inundated roadways, down trees, landslides, all on the list of possible hazards. As the main focus of the atmospheric river shifts a bit southward later this week, the potential for small stream and river flooding increases substantially further south in western portions of Oregon, perhaps in the same manner as that of the Washington Cascades, what we saw last week and again early this week. Around the country, 844-844-3388. Well, hello to Pappy out of the box. Hey, you even you beat Philly Dan in this Tuesday morning. Saddle up, nocturnal listeners. It's the midnight hour. 844-844-3388. The digits to hit. Don't be a scarecrow. Be a part of the show. 22 degrees, Harrison, Ohio. A tad bit warmer than the -1 we had on the cruiser dash cam last night down by the Ohio River. All right, I'm off tonight and tomorrow, so the weather gods can do as they please. Meanwhile, snuggle up to whomever, whatever. Throw another log on the fire. Heat up that cup of joe, right? Let's go. Hello to Marianne. Hello to all the listeners out there. Tank, he's put a few miles under his belt again, as typically the case is. Good morning, Steve, the overnight family. Happy Taco Tuesday, 36 degrees here in Winslow, Arizona. Rolling down toward Banning. Everybody truck safe. Have a blessed day. That's that weekly routine, right? From Memphis to Winslow in 24 hours. Ken from Canada joins us this early Tuesday. Hello there. Hello to Bob in Michigan. Good afternoon. There's Larry, 25 degrees, Platkill, New York. Rolling towards Schenectady, New York tonight. Jason, or that's Justin, I'm sorry. Morning, Steve from Lakeville, Minnesota. Everybody stay warm out there. Jerry, what do we have here? Steelers 28, Dolphins 15. Monday Night Football is a wrap. 29 in central Alabama at this hour. Supposed to drop down to about 26 this Tuesday morning. Wet, cold down here. It'll hurt you. All right, thank you, Steve. I love the program and all the colorful characters. Hello, Brain Dead Morning, Steve. Happy Taco Tuesday for you. It's my Sunday, actually. Well, I'm trying to wrap a few Christmas gifts. Family asked me to do it Thanksgiving. I can't go into too many details. The dingbat and I have not just cooked up, but it's all right. It'll all be caught on film come Christmas. All right, we'll be back to work for a few before I check my eyelids. I-95 southbound. Hello, Shorty. Yamasi? Where the hell are you in South Carolina? Anyway, 25 degrees. It's Orlando turnaround number 1. Get the week started. Saturday was a nightmare traveling from Cincinnati to Columbus. Bambi was driving at the time. Over our 100-mile stretch, I didn't see one plow, one salt shaker at all. 6 inches of snow, and the only thing to see were guardrails on both sides of the interstate. Yeah, I saw some of the video you shared of that. It was a proverbial nightmare, but so you made it through. Yeah, all said and done, I guess, right? All right, hello, Jeffrey checks in from southern Florida this early Tuesday. Jerry, morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Sarah Spencer and I are going to enjoy the Steve Sommers overnight drive, thanks to Hot Shot Secret. Believing in the trucking community. All right, we're still coating Kokomo, but should be getting better over the next couple of days. Let's see. Tell them you love them every chance you get, right? Tomorrow may not be there for all of us. 21 past the hour. Get to some of other listening friends. Did you realize this is actually considered the first week of Christmas travel? I didn't realize Christmas was a 2-week travel period. I guess realistically, with Hanukkah underway. Hanukkah has begun. Universities conclude the fall semester. Many students and workers prepare to travel. The roads, the airports later this week into the weekend. AAA said they're expecting 122.4 million people to travel 50 miles or more between December 20th and New Year's Day. More on that coming up here. First, quick timeout, rolling into a Tuesday, the Steve Summers Overnight Drive.
Did you miss an episode of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive? Or just want to relive a little bit of the magic? Don't worry. You can download the Steve Summers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss a single second of the show that was recently named one of the best late-night shows in America. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Steve Summers Overnight Drive so you don't miss a single episode. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive. Available wherever you get your podcasts or online at overnightdriveradio.com.
Truckers, meet the SpeedMax Pro Max, the tire built for serious hauls and serious peace of mind. With rugged construction and performance you can count on, Pro Max is made for the long road ahead. And here's the best part. It comes with an 8-year warranty. That's right, 8 years of confidence, mile after mile. Ask SpeedMax. Drive far. Drive strong. For more info, call 860-436-4100 or buy online at digitire.com. Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Like the men and women who power America, the people at Hot Shot Secret work hard and play harder. We're the fastest growing diesel and oil additive brand in the country. We solve problems. We protect engines. We save you money. And more importantly, time. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
How about a shout out to Crazy Ray there in West Michigan, checking in for the best 5 hours on the radio. Thank you much there, Crazy Ray. 17 degrees at this hour in West Michigan. Hello to Bill. Good morning, Steve. All the listeners, 12 degrees. Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. Here we are on the Pizza Shuttle Express. Tell you what, it's a lot better than it was Saturday night. Had an air temperature -5, 25 below wind chill. Yes, we did go against the company's no idle policy. You think? Good golly. Have a great night out there. Drivers, be safe. No idling. Wind chill 25 below. Just freeze to death there, Bill. All right, heading out to Sacramento, California. Hello, Santa Claus. Top of the morning, 44 degrees. Santa Claus on board. Good to have you with us. Tank says, Steve, I was scanning through the radio stations this past morning. Picked your show up on FM 101.1 in Little Rock, Arkansas. How about that? Yeah, Tank, I actually don't have the complete list of, all the affiliates we're on. I know of some. I keep forgetting to ask Ryan about that. Can you give me a list so we can plug them, right? Give them a shout out. Hello, Rockpick. Good morning, Steve. Truckers, third shift workers, and wise old night owls. Right now at the Rochester International Airport. Kind of overcast, 22 degrees. That means we get a frozen 2 for Tuesday underway. And we'll sing an early Merry Christmas, all you hard-working Americans. And here's wishing everybody a great new year. Watch out for the other drivers. Stay safe, yes indeed. Country Bumpkin checks in from Waterford, Michigan. Thanks for all you do for the trucking industry. Good morning to the overnight family. There you go. Thank you to the truck drivers out there. All right, coming up, we get to a number of industry headlines to bring your way. Some changes coming. Of course, the new year always means new rules, new regulations, new laws. A couple of updates, some changes, first of all, will be forthcoming in the state of Oregon, impacting the trucking industry. Had a couple of folks forward reports this past day. I think Bubba Slade started with Louisville, brain dead, then followed with Tennessee. Ford making some pretty major announcements this past day. Yeah, we've been talking for the last couple of years, that whole push to go electric, the Green New Deal, the Biden regulations to phase out the internal combustion engine, right? The demand for electric vehicles, it just has not been there and does not appear to be anywhere in sight in the near future, foreseeable future, that is. Ford's, they announced they're going to take a $19.5 billion hit, as in losses, on electric vehicles. They're going to turn things around, trying to right the ship. So several major announcements, again, this past day in regards to that. We'll give you all the details coming up here. And yeah, there are a lot of folks going to be losing jobs due to that as well. More to come after the news update.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. Rhode Island officials are working around the clock to catch the gunman who killed 2 students and injured 9 others at Brown University on Saturday. Providence Mayor Brett Smiley says multiple agencies are on the case.
This community will heal from this. We will move forward. But that doesn't make light of, and I'm certainly not making light of, the fear and anxiety that persists. But the only way we're going to move forward through it is one step at a time, and today's one of those steps.
Police released a new video showing the masked suspect in black walking away, while a previously detained person of interest has been released. Ahmed Al-Ahmed, an Australian immigrant, is being hailed as a hero for wresting a gun from a shooter during Sunday's deadly anti-Semitic attacks in Sydney that killed 15. Wounded in the act, Al-Ahmed said he would do it again to protect the community. Officials, including Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, called the attack pure evil and targeted at Jews on Hanukkah, sparking renewed calls for increased security. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say. We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great. It even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. Visit StrongTel.com. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. It's StrongTel.
Have you been searching far and wide, looking to advertise your business on a brand that will help you reach the very clients you want to walk through your front door? Well, you know they've done studies that 100% of the time, it works every time. We're talking about the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive. Let us go to work for your business. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive currently broadcasts in radio markets all over the United States and was recently named one of the top 50 best late night shows and podcasts in America. Advertising on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive will maximize your ability to reach clients both on the air and through podcasting. Consider it the best of both worlds. Don't miss this chance to put your business on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive and expand your reach immediately. Before we go, I've got one question to ask you. Are you ready to get started? If so, email me, Ryan Wild at lubricationspecialties.com, and get started showing off your business today on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive. TEL's independent owner-operator program gives you the power to operate under your own authority or choose the carrier you want to run for. Drive a new truck with full factory warranties, solo or team. TEL has a lease that fits your business. Call us at 866-404-6289 or visit tel360.com and use promo code OVERNIGHT100.
Winter is here. When the temperature drops, so does your truck's performance. Avoid fuel gelling by using Hot Shot Secret's EDT Plus Winter Defense, a 7-in-1 fuel booster and anti-gel that improves cold weather performance. The 7-point cetane boost decreases DPF regens and increases fuel economy. Be confident that your engine is running smoothly and trouble-free, even in the coldest temperatures. Hot Shot Secret EDT Plus Winter Defense, available at Pilot Flying J, Amazon, O'Reilly Auto Parts, and HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Did you miss an episode of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive? Or just want to relive a little bit of the magic? Don't worry. You can download the Steve Summers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss a single second of the show that was recently named one of the best late-night shows in America. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Steve Summers Overnight Drive so you don't miss a single episode. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive. Available wherever you get your podcasts or online at overnightdriveradio.com.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Summers. Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now. 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388.
All righty. Trust your week's off to a good start. Working on closing out a Monday. All right, sneakers. I see your post there. Hey, maybe for just tonight. I think YouTube and Facebook are still facing the same issue with the reduced audio. The app's working fine, according to everybody I've spoke with. I did get a hold of Ryan this past morning. Josh tried to get a hold of me, but I was already in bed. We have a Teams meeting set up for 10:30 this morning. So Josh is going to log into my system. I'm going to get that audio fixed. So you can, just for tonight, maybe you go to overnightdriveradio.com. You can download the app on your smartphone there. Otherwise, you just got to deal with the low audio for one more night. So we'll get that fixed up later today. It's on the schedule. All right, as I mentioned, as the first week of Christmas travel kicks off, some of the early indications are a storm may affect some travel, messy conditions for portions of the central and eastern U.S. During the middle and latter portions of this week, the snow on the ground in many areas may not last. Through the end of the week, as that warmer air begins to move in, as we're anticipating, as I said, Hanukkah has begun. Universities wrapping up the fall semester. Now, AAA, as I mentioned, 122.4 million expected travelers between December 20 and New Year's Day. One of the new storms forecast to bring renewed flooding and major travel disruptions to western Washington and Oregon this week will ultimately roll across the U.S. as the persistent Arctic air finally exits. In a rather unusual occurrence, the cold air will give it up rather easily. High pressures forecast to exit off the mid-Atlantic coast rather than lingering over the Atlantic portions of Canada as that warmer air makes its move in. Now, that setup's going to allow minimal resistance by the cold air, with a few exceptions, as the warmer and moist air moves over the cold ground and snow cover. We'll be anticipating areas of fog and drizzle developing. Sometimes that moisture can freeze on untreated surfaces, freezing fog, in other words. That may be a problem in actually parts of the plains overnight tonight into Tuesday morning, and then the Great Lakes region by Wednesday morning. The overall lack of widespread ice will be contingent on breezy to windy conditions ahead of the main storm. That wind's going to uproot the cold air, but in many cases, winds could be strong enough, leading to airline delays. The stiff winds associated with the storm will also work against any widespread dense fog development. But where the winds are lighter, the air is moist and the ground still cold, fog could be troublesome for some. Looks like pockets of cold may stick around in portions of the Appalachians and New England. As the leading edge of that storm's rain begins to move in, it could freeze on some of the colder surfaces. That's going to be a concern northeastern New York, northern New England. But for most locations, the air temperatures are going to surge into the 40s, 50s, even some 60s from Wednesday to Thursday night. The breezy conditions will make it feel 10 to 15 degrees lower, but motorists should anticipate wet travel conditions from the Mississippi Valley to the Appalachians from Wednesday to Thursday morning, or evening rather. That rain then spreads to much of the Atlantic seaboard by Thursday night. The combination wet roads, runways, low visibility, airline delays are anticipated. Where snow is piled up, street flooding is going to be possible with blocked storm drains as that rain and melting snow combine, rising the runoff in those areas. The surge of cold air is going to sweep in behind the storm from the northern plains and the Midwest Friday, then into the Northeast Friday night into Saturday. Most roads should have a chance to dry off in the wake of the rain as that colder air moves in. There could be a few exceptions, especially in the Midwest. Forecasters closely watching for the potential of rain, maybe changing to a bit of snow in the Appalachians Thursday night and Friday. There's probably going to be a brief period of lake effect snow following the storm Thursday night to Friday night. Could see some difficult travel in parts of Michigan, western and northern New York, and northwest Pennsylvania. 844-844-3388. Well, I mentioned Ford Motor Company. Let's start there in Tennessee. Ford announcing more shakeups for what they call their Blue Oval City project in Haywood County, Tennessee. Announcing this past day, the formerly named Tennessee Electric Vehicle Center will be renamed the Tennessee Truck Plant, switching their focus from electric vehicles to gas-powered truck models. This after the Korean battery manufacturer SK announced that they were taking full ownership of the Tennessee battery plant from Ford here early December. This facility will produce all new built Ford Tough truck models, production starting in 2029, according to the release. These new affordable gas-powered trucks will broaden Ford's truck family and extend market leadership, replacing the previously planned next-generation electric truck. For years, Ford has lost billions of dollars producing electric vehicles. Now, Haywood County's mayor has repeatedly said Blue Oval City is too big to fail. Fox 13 broke the news to him over the phone yesterday that the site is going to produce gas-powered trucks, to which he said, it doesn't surprise me. We pretty much anticipated this is what they were going to do, to be candid with you. Production of the gas-powered trucks has been pushed back to 2029. The mayor says he continues to support the company's efforts despite the delays. You've heard me say several times, I don't care if they're producing widgets out there, as long as I've got plenty of good, high-paying jobs. Now, when it comes to jobs, the other big announcement was Louisville. All 1,600 employees of the brand new electric vehicle battery plant in Kentucky will be laid off before Ford converts that to manufacture batteries for data centers and other utilities. Ford is going to turn the Glendale factory into a battery storage business for customers like utilities, wind and solar power developers, massive data centers, training artificial intelligence. According to the Wall Street Journal, Ford also announced plans to begin shipping the battery energy storage systems from their Kentucky and Michigan plants by late 2027, a shift to a higher return opportunity. In total, the company said it'll take a $19.5 billion hit to profits as we transition away from the electric vehicle business. Ford's chief executive, Jim Farley, in an interview with the Journal, says instead of plowing billions into the future, knowing these large electric vehicles will never make money, we're pivoting. In a video statement sent to employees this past day, Michael Adams, the CEO of Blue Oval SK, the original joint venture between Ford and SK, said, of course, this would lead to the end of all Blue Oval SK positions in Kentucky. I did not give a time frame for the layoffs, although he said employees will have access to benefits and continue to receive paychecks for the next 60 days. Now, Ford plans to hire 2,100 employees for the new iteration of the Glendale plant. According to a company spokesperson, that all those laid off will have the opportunity to apply for those new jobs. This is a consumer-driven shift to create a stronger, more resilient, more profitable Ford, according to Farley. The operating reality has changed. We're redeploying capital into higher return growth opportunities. Ford Pro, our market-leading trucks and vans, hybrids, and high-margin opportunities like our new battery energy storage business. In an interview with WDRB News back in June, Adams said that they were prepared to move away from their original business if the demand for electric vehicles proved to not meet production, which they have not. We're actually allowed to bring other customers' business into this facility, he said. So primarily, yes, Ford is our parent. We want to fill this plant with Ford business, but at the same time, under that scenario, we're also able to go out and work with other OEMers. Governor Andy Beshear, speaking to a spokesperson this past day, stating the state of Kentucky will remain the electric vehicle battery capital of the U.S., despite the president's short-sighted attacks on the industry. Now, he said he's in direct contact with Ford leadership on a restructured future project. Right now, our primary focus is helping the affected Blue Oval employees find new jobs. Team Kentucky is coordinated with company and community leaders to directly support these employees, in addition to planning job fairs and create a website offering resources for assistance. Beshear's office said the terms of the incentive agreement are being renegotiated as we speak. Wall Street Journal said Ford has lost $13 billion on their electric vehicle business in the last 2 years. The demand just is not there. The entire Hardin County project, originally marketed as a $5.8 billion investment in the burgeoning future of Ford's electric vehicle infrastructure, has taken a turn in response to lacking consumer demand. Farley said they planned for too much capacity, and we've got to pull back in response to the rollbacks of the strict emission rules by President Trump's administration. The first battery to be sold out of the plants rolled off the assembly line in August of this year. They were made to power the all-electric Ford F-150 Lightning. Ford canceled production on that truck in yesterday's announcement. Now, progress on the second plant next door is also on pause, with equipment yet to be installed inside. Earlier this year, the Journal said it's possible that second plant could be used to supply Nissan with batteries for their electric vehicle fleet. Last week, Ford and SKON announced the end of their partnership. That sparked the massive Hardin County plants in the first place. Ford agreed to take full ownership of the plant moving forward through a subsidiary. SKON will assume ownership of the nearly finished Tennessee plant and produce batteries for similar utility needs as the plant in Glendale. Like I said, these are big announcements, big shakeups. Several Kentucky representatives, House members, in a written statement Monday say they're focused on those men and women who could lose their jobs. We're opportunistic. We're optimistic about the company's decision to take over the Glendale facility and transition that toward energy storage, particularly as initial plans for the project have faced many challenges from the get-go. At the same time, that optimism has to be matched by both caution and accountability. We're watching closely. Wall Street Journal reporting Ford's new plan for the Glendale plant calls for using just 23% of the site's original capacity when the new batteries begin production there in 2027. All right, get to your calls at 844-844-3388. Just ahead, the Steve Summers Overnight Drive.
Transport Enterprise Leasing, founded by a U.S. Army veteran, proudly supports those who've served. Veterans receive a $750 discount on their lease deposit with 24/7 maintenance support, national parts discounts, and interest-free financing. TEL is committed to your success. Call 866-404-6289 and use promo code OVERNIGHT100 or visit tel360.com. Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system. Have you been searching far and wide, looking to advertise your business on a brand that will help you reach the very clients you want to walk through your front door? Well, you know they've done studies that 100% of the time, it works every time. We're talking about the Steve Summers Overnight Drive. Let us go to work for your business. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive currently broadcasts in radio markets all over the United States and was recently named one of the top 50 best late-night shows and podcasts in America. Advertising on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive will maximize your ability to reach clients both on the air and through podcasting. Consider it the best of both worlds. Don't miss this chance to put your business on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive and expand your reach immediately. Before we go, I've got one question to ask you. Are you ready to get started? If so, email me, Ryan Wild at lubricationspecialties.com, and get started showing off your business today on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive.
Good to have you on board as we get the new day underway. Carl, how we doing this Tuesday?
Good morning, Steve. Thank you for taking my call. Running through Chattanooga right now, about 32 degrees here, headed to Alabama, and then back up to Kentucky. But Yeah, just listening to your report there about the electric vehicles there and King Andy Bashir. They're, the electric battery plants. Okay, I think Ohio was supposed to build one too up there around Milford or something, right?
If memory serves, yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a huge plant also. But it's amazing, isn't it, how a different administration will come in with different ideas. Like the Biden administration, they wanted to go with the batteries and all of that, and they started up this battery auto production plants and everything. But Ford has been telling them all along that they've been losing money.
Yep.
On that, and so Ford, I don't really think wants to do it either. The only reason why they're doing it is because they were getting incentives from the government to do it, and now they're not going to get it, okay, because Trump is not for that. He says, okay, if you want to build electric, but people needs to buy them, and if the people aren't going to buy them, then you're not going to make any money, So there it is. It's very common sense logic, and then they don't want to do the Bashir's not talking about the power stations either, about everything that you need to do to put in the infrastructure to recharge the batteries, with the plug-ins, everywhere. So that's a big deal. All right. If you're going to do this, you've got to go full bore with it instead of just saying, "Well, we're going to create a bunch of jobs here with these batteries. We're going to produce the batteries." Well, if you don't do the infrastructure at the same time, then you're not doing anything, basically. So I call him King Andy, the boy king from Kentucky, okay? Because he likes to make these edicts and things of that nature, rules and regulations that he says are the way it ought to be. But he's really not. He don't know what he's even talking about because he doesn't go through the whole process. He doesn't look at the big picture, so to speak. He's not with the in the know, so to speak, with everything. He just wants to do his little thing there about jobs and saying, yeah, that's a big deal. Yeah, of course it is, but you've got to do the whole big picture, okay? And you just can't just continue to do that like that. And I was just going to make a comment also about the situation in Australia with the shooters over there, and I think they have they've come up with an idea that they may have went into the Philippines, these shooters, okay, which is just above Australia. There on the geographical map there, you can look at the Philippines. They're just above Australia, which would be a convenient country for them to go to by boat in particular. They could get up there to the Philippines. There is an island there that's got an ISIS cell in it in the Philippines. It's been that way for quite some time. It's called Mindanao, and they have an ISIS cell there that's operating there, and we needed to do something about that for a long time. So maybe we might see something being done about that because I like the Philippines in particular myself, but I visited over there several times, but I don't go around the Muslim activities and this, that, and the other. I just don't have any desire about that. But they have a lot of stuff going on in the Philippines with China and this and that and the other. China wants the Philippines. They want to take over the country, and that's a real problem. Just like they want Taiwan as well. But yeah, maybe the Trump administration will come up with something here on this with these two shooters here going into the Philippines, if that's what they've actually done. I believe they have. I believe they've went into Mindanao is where they are. So we're going to find out what's going on there with that. And appreciate you for taking my call there, Steve.
All right, Carl, thanks for the update. Good to have you with us, as always. You know, if you look at Australia, where in the world do they have some very stringent gun control measures? Well, that's one of those places. No doubt about it. Stringent gun control, failing to prevent that gun-based mass killing. 11 innocent lives lost. Obviously, as we know, it was the Jewish community targeted in this terrorist attack. One of the two gunmen behind the attack was also killed. But we'll give more details on that coming up here. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive.
Have you been searching far and wide, looking to advertise your business on a brand that will help you reach the very clients you want to walk through your front door? Well, you know they've done studies that 100% of the time, it works every time. We're talking about the Steve Summers Overnight Drive. Let us go to work for your business. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive currently broadcasts in radio markets all over the United States and was recently named one of the top 50 best late night shows and podcasts in America. Advertising on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive will maximize your ability to reach clients both on the air and through podcasting. Consider it the best of both worlds. Don't miss this chance to put your business on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive and expand your reach immediately. Before we go, I've got one question to ask you. Are you ready to get started? If so, email me, Ryan Wild at lubricationspecialties.com, and get started showing off your business today on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. Australia is vowing a crackdown on guns and anti-Semitism following the attack against the Jewish community at Bondi Beach in Sydney.
The murders in Australia, where mass gun violence is rare, has shocked the country and led to calls from officials to further tighten gun restrictions. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says he's looking at additional tightening on what are already strict gun laws. He's also said that his government is working to eradicate anti-Semitism. But some within the Jewish community have voiced feelings that an attack of this nature was inevitable. A father and son reportedly carried out the attack. The father was killed in the incident. The son remains in hospital, along with dozens of their victims. Nick Harper reporting.
Brown University has identified 2 students killed in Saturday's classroom shooting as sophomore Ella Cook and freshman Muhammad Aziz Umar Zokov. Authorities say 9 others were wounded. No suspect has been named. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett says President Trump would not influence future decisions made by the Federal Reserve.
Hassett, considered to take over the role as Fed chair, made the comment during an appearance on CBS Face the Nation.
He would have no weight. It's just his opinion matters if it's good, if it's based on data.
President Trump started final interviews for the next Federal Reserve chair this past week. The president told reporters on Air Force One, "We're going to be looking at a couple of different people, but I have a pretty good idea of who I want." John Sommers, USA Radio News.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is facing criticism after labeling Senator Tommy Tuberville's warnings about Islamic terrorism as despicable Islamophobia. Tuberville tied the Brown University gunman to radical Islam and highlighted risks from Muslim immigration. Schumer calls the comments unacceptable, but Tuberville insists Americans must confront the threat of Islamic extremism. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
No matter who we are or where we come from, we all experience difficulties in life.
Military veterans know that sometimes it takes strength and determination to make it through. Whether it's obvious physical challenges or struggles on the inside, it takes strength to ask for help when you need it.
I knew that I had to get support, not just for me, but for the sake of my wife and kids.
Talking about it has helped me feel more like myself again.
Honestly, it was hard to open up at first, but it's changed my life for the better.
Learn how veterans like us have reached out for help. And hear stories of strength and recovery at MakeTheConnection.net.
The sirens will light off. We're going to produce at least 75 decibels in all those close proximity cabins.
Camp Mystic in the Texas Hill Country is installing high-tech flood warning sensors along the Guadalupe River. Developed by River Sentry, Ian Cunningham says the monitors include sirens and spotlights to guide campers to safety.
If you had a hotel, you're required by fire code to have a network fire alarm system. We're basically trying to replicate the same thing along the river.
The all-girls camp lost 25 campers and 2 teenage counselors during the July 4th floods. The FDA has expanded approval of the female libido drug Addyi, allowing postmenopausal women up to age 65 take the once-a-day pill. First approved for premenopausal women back in 2015, Addyi affects brain chemicals linked to mood and appetite, but carries warnings about dizziness, nausea, and serious risks if combined with alcohol. Well, you may want to think twice if you're thinking about decorating your car with Christmas lights.
Adding lights to your car can be against the law. Virginia has several laws when it comes to what lights are allowed on certain vehicles. For example, adding lights to privately owned cars to display colors that would be associated with emergency vehicles is against the law. Cars are only allowed to have red for brake lights, and flashing lights are even more prohibited. Virginia State Police say it's also illegal to obscure a car's headlights or brake lights with wire, plastic covers, or other non-original equipment. It's also against the law to have any sort of holiday decoration on your car roof. I'm Rosia Rivera.
And I'm Anthony Lucero, USA Radio News.
Would you know where to turn if you or a loved one became paralyzed? For thousands of families, the National Paralysis Resource Center has been that lifeline. But now federal funding's at risk. Sherman Gillums Jr., a partially paralyzed Marine veteran with the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, explains why.
This is about more than just a budget line. It's about veterans, caregivers, and families, real people who need these resources to live more productive and independent lives.
Learn more at ChristopherReeve.org.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme. The solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with PEA to deep clean. Don't settle for an average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme and go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
We know being over the road isn't easy, but getting parts for your truck can be. Rainey's offers over 100,000 parts and accessories, from chrome to cab comforts, watermelon lights to necessary replacement parts. It's all available on our website. Got questions? Our team of experts has your back from start to finish with unmatched customer service you won't get anywhere else. Head to Rainey's.com to get $25 off any order over $250 with code DRIVE25 at checkout.
Because Channel 19's a little congested. Call Steve now at 844-844-3388. The Overnight Drive.
All right, as we kick off a brand new day, welcome back. Welcome aboard. Hello, Denver, Colorado, as we cross over the 11 o'clock hour there, right? Here comes a Tuesday, 16th day of December. You know, less than 10 days till Christmas. We'll kick it off this hour. Yeah, right on the heels of the big winter storm over the weekend, blanketing a large swath of the country under a fairly significant snow. Advisories and warnings had been issued, impacting millions across the Northeast. Then came the frigid temperatures that continued through this past day. Heavy lake effect snow east of Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. Delaware Department of Transportation had advised of widespread icy conditions, adding that crews will continue to clear and salt roads. But it's pretty much the same case for so many parts, including our region here. The salt becomes pretty much ineffective when your temperatures get below 15 or 20 degrees. For many, many schools in our region, they had started things off anticipating like a 2-hour delay this past morning, only to subsequently cancel classes. Many areas that had seen a bit of melting ultimately refroze during the overnight early morning hours. So kids got yet another day. Now, due to the cold temperatures, I think they should be back on regular schedule today. The sub-zero temperatures was also a contributing factor where many superintendents were concerned about children trying to walk to bus stops in those bitterly temperatures where frostbite could kick in. Meanwhile, we now have what they are referencing as a regional emergency for Delaware, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, enacted by the FMCSA over the weekend due to the fuel supply and transportation. It was early Friday. New Jersey was the first to announce an emergency for that state. Propane was the big issue primarily, but it has now been declared a regional, effective through December 26th. That declaration providing relief from maximum driving time for property-carrying vehicles directly assisting emergency efforts in those affected states. Winter storms, cold weather, power outage at a major refinery there have created an immediate risk to public health, safety, and welfare, according to the declaration. Officials added an immediate need to transport heating fuel, including propane, natural gas, and heating oil exists. Now, relief granted by the order applies regardless of the origin of the trip, as long as the motor carrier or driver is assisting in those emergency efforts. In addition to the FMCSA's regional emergency, some northeastern states have also declared fuel emergencies. Orders in New Hampshire and New Jersey are specific to home heating oil and propane. There is a Pennsylvania exemption that applies to bulk propane transport for interstate or intrastate commercial vehicle operators. We had talked Friday morning about the Marcus Hook refinery that was operating intermittently as temperatures continue to drop. Ensuring everyone has access to a warm environment is essential, was part of the declaration from New Jersey's Governor Phil Murphy, declaring a state of emergency to ensure the approximately 186,000 New Jerseyans who rely on propane for home heating can receive it without interruption. I'm not sure about that. Horse Feathers did clarify that that refinery was indeed operating intermittently, up for a number of hours and then offline again, kind of in and out, causing difficulties for some getting loads and unloaded. He said he hadn't spent a whole lot of exceptional time getting in and out of the facility, but that's the latest there. Meanwhile, Australia, as the never-ending debate about gun control, gun confiscation, they're never going to take the guns away from all the American people. And even if they did, it would just be the law-abiding individuals that voluntarily gave up their weapons. The criminals, that's why they're criminals. They're not going to follow any sort of order or mandatory order from the government to hand over your weapons. That's pretty much what was done in Australia, and that did not prevent what occurred over the weekend. As we all have seen the videos now, witnesses reported more than 30 shots fired before the assault was brought to an end. It was also confirmed late Sunday evening that a number of suspicious items had been found near the bridge where the gunmen had began their assault, including an improvised explosive device that was removed by the bomb squad specialist, driven away in an armored vehicle, according to the Daily Mail. But Democrats in this country and other on the left frequently use Australia. They set Australia before us as an example of, look what gun control can accomplish. For example, when Hillary Clinton was making a presidential run in 2015, she quipped that an Australian-style gun ban was worth looking at here for the U.S. Now, the New York Times reported former President Obama described Australian gun control as the model for America. Yeah, they went so far as to claim conservative-led Australia ended mass killings. They had moved toward their gun ban following the 1996 Port Arthur shooting. The National Firearms Agreement emerged, containing a firearm buyback that was mandatory, resulting in at least 700,000 guns handed over to the government during that buyback time frame. The National Firearms Agreement targeted semi-automatic firearms. It also contained universal background checks and licensing and registration requirements for the few type of guns that the government would still allow you to own. Yes, CNN summed up this aspect of the National Firearms Agreement like this. Rapid-fire rifles and shotguns were banned. Gun owner licensing was tightened, and remaining firearms were registered to uniform national standards. Many other guns were handed over to the Australian government, apart from the buyback, bringing the total number of guns taken and destroyed by the government to approximately 1 million. So all we can say, Australia has stringent gun control that the left wants us to follow here. They also have 11 innocent people who were shot and killed on Bondi Beach Sunday evening. Evil will find a way. That's pretty much the sum of it. 15 past the hour. 844-844-3388. See what Plowboy has on his mind here this early Tuesday, getting the week started. Morning, Plowboy.
Well, good morning, Steve. Well, yeah, it really is amazing. Gun-free zones, guns not allowed in this country are not so many. Look what the hell happened. Yeah. Just the dumb and the dumber. They think they can